Hey y'all, happy Friday, TGIF. I'm glad y'all are here so we can get our crown therapy on for today before it gets too late because y'all know we still got to have our watch party and Pink Friday goes down today. So after the watch party, back on the porch so we can discuss everything we saw on our Revisiting the Pink, where we're going to review season 1 of P Valley. So it's about to get real, okay? Also, y'all please like this video. Look out for me. I appreciate it if you will. If you already hit the like button, thank you. And if you haven't, reach your hand back around the door and hit the button for me. I appreciate that so much. I'm begging for likes and subscribers. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you've been here before, you already family. You know you love us. Hit that subscribe button because we're very happy to have you. Okay. And then for membership, if you're interested in becoming officially a Royal Family member, so you don't miss out on events, screenings, movie nights, competitions, and all that good stuff, make sure that you hit the membership link in the description box below the video. They make sure a join button, but I think it depends on what kind of device you own. And it's also listed on the main page for this channel. And if you're not able to become a member on your own, don't hesitate to contact me at my contact information that's scrolling across the screen, and one of us will help you to get that done. Don't let cost prohibit you. If you want to participate, we will do our best to make sure that you're able to do so, money notwithstanding. Now, with that being said, let me say hello to my sisters. We got Egypt now here. Hey, Egypt, one half of the dynamic duo that keeps the chat safe. Velma Cook, how you doing? Hey, Aries Forever, Nacho Twins Mama, how are you? All right. Adele, good to see you. Dale Senior, how you doing? I'm so glad to see you. Hey, Gwen. We got Auntie Eva's mama. Spiller, MR Spiller. I'm so happy to see you. Alita, how you doing? Happy Friday to you. Hey, Christian Key. Olympia, how you doing? Wonder Woman Marshall. All right. You know I'm always happy when I see you here. Okay. Hey, Linda Ford, Miss Sparkle, Iridescent Unicorn Farts. That name tickles me so much every time. That's why I always mention it. SFF, how are you? Ann Grace, the beautiful Ann Grace. How you been? All right. Mary, how you doing, Mary? Shrink and Sharon, you came to holler at us this afternoon. It's so good to see you. Sharon Foner. All right, our blues lady. Angie, how are you? Black Diamond, hello, beautiful. Hey, happy to be happy. All right, Sandra Richardson, how you doing? All right. We got Joyelle in here. How are you? Delicia. We got Nisi. Hey, Vegas girl. La la. You know we getting ready for your bridal shower. I can't wait till it's time for that. And we'll be planning that next. All right. I'm so glad that some of y'all made it in here. That means so much to me that we can all sit down together and have a good time. This chat, you know, I'm going to do what I do. Haitian Ellen, I don't remember seeing you, but you're so pretty. You're welcome. We're glad to see you. We're glad you're here. Okay. Wait a minute. Nisi said you can't hear no sound. What? Hey, Queena. Roz. Hey. Hottie, I ain't seen you in a while, girl. How you been? Good to see you. Dolores, how you doing? We got Misha up in here. AVL, how are you? Dorit, I messaged you to tell you I got that muscle rub that you sent me. It came today. Thank you again for that. That was awesome. I hope it is helpful to my back. That's me, Cheryl. How you doing? We got Black Crystal Dice. Hello, dear. Good to see you, my beautiful silver diamond. We got Simone. Mace, how are you? Maybelline. All right. Diva too. How you doing? Good to see you too. Listen, I'm so happy that my sisters are here and we can all sit down and talk. If I missed anybody at all, forgive me. I promise you it's my head and not my heart. What you say now, how are you? Jane, sis, how are you? All right, Educated Family Life is here. JC is here. All right. You say you don't usually catch the lives, but you're here today. I'm glad you are, and I hope you won't regret it. I truly hope that you won't. And I hope the rest of our family makes it in as well. You just downloaded the Twitch app. Good. All of you should consider it because I'm going to be streaming simultaneously on both Reasons being, in light of some of the things that have happened recently, I want to make sure we have a backup meeting place because we're family and we don't want the family to ever be dispersed for any reason. Okay? Oh, thank you so much. That's a royal family thing. Okay? So I'm very happy that you guys are here. Um, Make sure if you don't have Twitch, get Twitch. You can also sign in on your laptops if you don't, if you're not comfortable doing apps. I've gotten comfortable with apps. It makes things a little bit easier. But I'm going to live stream on both. From here on out, it's going to be playing on both places because I want to make sure that if anything ever goes wrong, God forbid, okay, that we do not lose our family. We have done a lot of work to build this family, and we going to make sure that we stay family. I don't care what goes down. This family will stay intact. Okay. Yes, I am. I am on Twitch. All right. So let's talk about what I wanted to talk about today. So I hope that y'all on board with me. You know, we got to do what we got to do. But we covered signs and warnings before, right? So because we did cover the signs and warnings, I want to go a little bit further into that. We covered the dreams. Also, dream journals, I'm going to get those out this month. Whether I'm able to get them engraved or printed or not, I'm going to personally make sure that everybody has their dream journals because y'all know we pay attention to our dreams. We pay attention to the visions we get, the warnings we get from on high. Okay, thank you so much because those are important. If you ignore them, sometimes what you're doing is ignoring a warning that might be there to save your life or keep you away from folks that are going to make trouble for you. All right, you following me over there too. Okay, that's so nice. I like that it shows me both. That is awesome. Hey, Alondra. All right. Okay. So listen, this is the thing. This is the thing. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Del Senior. I appreciate it. Okay, you gonna catch the replay? All right. Jane says, I always have the same nightmare when I'm stressed. You might have to catch one of our other crown therapies that we already did. Speaking about recurring dreams or recurring themes in dreams, because that's a thing too. Okay. Thank you so much, Diva Too. She went over there to show some love on that old Twitch. I love it. You've been in the bushes. Well, we glad we got to holler at you today. Okay. So now, what we're talking about today is those things that are right in your face. When I say that, we're talking about that stuff that we seldom pay attention to. I won't say seldom, but a lot of times we explain it away. A lot of times we will explain it away and we'll say things like it was deja vu or seems like this happened before or little things like that. That's okay. A lot of times your mind, because we're not writing things down in journals, because we're not logging the things that we see. All right. Thank you so much. And because we're not logging the things that we see, we end up forgetting them. But even though your conscious mind may forget something, your conscious mind can forget something, and that's cool. However, understand that even though it's not in your conscious mind or in the forefront of your mind, it is still in there somewhere. So when certain things happen, your mind is trying to connect the dots, if that makes sense. Y'all let me know if I'm making sense at all, because I don't want to be off on a tangent and y'all don't really get where I'm coming from with it. Okay? But it's very important. I want y'all to keep up with where I'm going, and I don't want to lose anybody because I want to make a very good point. Okay. Sometimes we are confronted or we run into images or symbols that you saw in your dream state while you were laying down in that good old sleep. You underneath them covers and blankets, and you start to see certain things. Thank you, Christian Key, for the bullseyes. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes I need to know that I'm on point and that I'm not all over the place. Shaquila says subconsciously. Yep, that's what I mean. Your subconscious, even though your conscious might not remember it, like it's not right on the surface of your mind, the subconscious may still be accessing it or trying. Your subconscious is basically trying to connect the dots because it's still there. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad that y'all, we all together. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate you too. So when we're confronted by these things, that's when we start having that feeling like, okay, maybe it's deja vu, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. We explain it away like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Sometimes it can be, but we got to tell ourselves the truth, which is the fact that it may not be. Hazeline, saw you slip in. So one of the things that I want us to do, point number one, DT is not here, and that hurts my feelings because y'all know DT always get my notes for me. Let me make sure that DT knows that I'm here. Y'all give me just a second. You know I'm lost without him. I am so lost without my DT. Maybe he'll join us. He might be sleeping or something. You know, the hours be so different from between New Zealand and the US. I never know when he's awake and when he's not. Okay, Pink Paisley, you made it in too? Yes, hit that like button, please. We got both of our archangels here. They always watch that dough, and I love it. Okay. All right. Hey, you made it. How are you? I'm so happy to see you. Listen, I'm always excited when family shows up, extended family, everybody. That's so important to me. So, the first point that I really want to make that's super important is do not explain it away. That's one of the most important things you can do. If you see something and something in your mind is trying to connect the dots, you thinking it's deja vu, your mind is really trying to put it together like, okay, how am I recognizing this? Why does this make sense? Like, why does this look familiar? Your mind is trying to connect the dots. So what you need to do is make sure that you pay attention. Do not explain it away. Yes, these notes are absolutely everything. Okay? So don't explain it away. Then you want to confirm what you saw. Like take a beat, stop what you're doing. Don't worry about if other people looking at you like, why she stopped in the middle of her sentence. You probably seen people do it and you didn't realize what they were doing. Hey Jazzy, how you doing? Oh wow. Yes. You know what I mean, Mace? So it's like you stop for a minute, like take a beat and confirm and just like talk to yourself in your head. Don't talk to yourself out loud because people really gonna think you crazy. But talk to yourself in your head for a minute and be like, okay, did I really just see what I saw? Confirm what you saw. Like make sure you got it straight so you always get it. That's probably a sign that you're somebody who is an active dreamer in that you get warnings and signs while you're dreaming and you may or may not be able to remember them when you wake up. But that's why we're going to try to get these dream journals out because I want you all to get in the habit of journaling your dreams. I want you to get in the habit of journaling. Write it down. As soon as you wake up, write it down. So that way, even if you forget it later, you can go back and like, okay, I think I saw that before. Right. But this is the thing. It's a deja vu element that you think you didn't have in your dream. It may be part of it that your conscious mind does not recall, but it's still in there somewhere. Hey, Amethyst. All right. I'm so happy. I'm glad to see Miami in November. I don't get to see you often, so I'm always happy when you come through, right? So make sure that you confirm it. And then also pay attention to everything else that's happening, right? They're not, but I can add them there. That's a good idea. So I think I'm going to do that because I already added for those of you who want bonnets that are blinged out, I added the bonnets to the list so you can hit them and they'll come to me and then I'll know who they have to be sent to and the cigarette holders. But Christian, thank you so much for that. That's why I love my sisters. Y'all smarter than me. I will add some journals to the Amazon wish list so that way you can grab them and I won't take it off the list. So no matter how many people buy them, you'll have them. I can, write notes in them for you and send them to you, or whatever you want to do. Or maybe you can click on them and just like order and have it sent straight to your house if you don't need me to do anything else to them. Like if you want them blinged or something that's different. Sharon says, I dream so much, and when I wake up, I can never remember anything. That's another common problem. It's another common problem. One thing is, it's always a good idea if you can wake up and immediately start saying out what you saw as much as you can remember as soon as you open your eyes. JC is going to fill in for DT with the notes. Take notes of warnings that may come through journals. It may come through journals. Remember your thoughts by journaling so you can assess things that your conscious mind cannot recall. Okay? So always pay attention to stuff like that. It's super important. If you, hey, Marlette, so if you're able to, say it out loud real quick before you forget, say it out loud. If not, if you can hold on to it a little bit longer, then make sure that you write it down. Let's journal. Let's journal. Writing is not gonna hurt us. I know we so used to typing and texting. If you actually, write, it's okay. Um, yeah, that's for way after the baby shower. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody don't have to have a bonnet for the bonnet party. That's true. The list is on the Amazon wish list. It's in the description box below this video and every video. Okay? Awesome. Thank you, Joyelle. I appreciate that. Okay. Leslie Prim says something you see or hear triggers your remembrance of your dream. That is an excellent point. Even though it's in the subconscious, by you seeing something, that's a type of stimulation. Hey, Ms. Harris, when you see it, it actually that stimuli triggers something. It triggers something. That, you know what, there's a reason for that. If you call me, I'll explain it to you. There's a very important reason for that. That happens sometimes to mothers. When we start carrying these children, certain sensitivities that we had, we lose them. And then we gain other sensitivities. Like some mothers, once we have those children, we can smell everything. We can smell somebody that didn't take a bath from across the street. Like our noses will get extra sensitive. So, and then some other senses and sensitivities become numb, right? Okay. And Christians say music does that to me. Yeah, music is a heck of a trigger. So is smell. There's certain smells, like you'll smell a cake or a certain scent, and it'll take you all the way back to your childhood or something that you thought you had forgotten altogether. Okay. So make sure that you pay attention to the things that are happening around it. So if you're somewhere and let's just say you hear a song that was also in your dream, I like that Christian mentioned that. So this is a good thing, right? If you hear that song and it triggers a memory, start paying attention to everything else going on around you. Hey, New Year's Day, pay attention. Like, look around, look and see if there's anything out of place. If there's an odd dish on the table, pay attention to who's in the room. Like, take note of everything else that's happening. Shakila, thank you for the bullseyes, letting me know that I'm on point with those smells. Those smells will take you back. Okay. The next point that I want to bring out of something that we should definitely try to do when we start to see those things that trigger memories, that trigger that feeling of deja vu. Like you can't even really pull up the whole memory, but when it triggers that feeling of deja vu, the next thing I want to suggest is that we try to recall other important elements or dynamic details that you saw in that dream. So, like with the music, if it's a song, when the song triggers it, try to think back or go to your journal if you wrote it down and find other dynamic elements, other important elements. If while that dream was playing in a dream, if the song was playing in that dream, what other things stood out? If there was a big red ball in the middle of the room, like pay attention and go back and pull out those. Miss Jam, caregiver, speak out. How you doing? Um, Pull out those elements and start to pay attention to those and start to look for indications of what those things could be symbolic of in your current setting, your waking setting. Because at this point, you're wide awake. Okay? Easy breezy. You was about to ask what a description is. Yeah, you need a nap. That's that baby making you tired. Okay, so find those elements, because sometimes the thing that triggers the deja vu, the thing that triggers the memory, is not the same thing that you really need from that dream. The music or a smell may trigger the memory or the deja vu, but the real thing that you need to be concerned about may not be that. It may actually be something else. Okay, it may actually be something else altogether. So you want to try to remember everything, and that's why journaling is so important. Ms. Harris says, what does it mean when you dream of an ex and you have loving emotions in the dream about them? It could just be a memory of how you felt at that time, or it could be a deception by some sort of unclean spirit that wants to do some funny things to you. So it's a lot of things to a dream. Y'all know I'm always telling you, when you start recalling a dream, don't pull up one element. There's other things in that dream. If you dreamed about that ex, where were you? What were you all doing? What were you wearing? Was it the current you or the past you? So that's why journaling is important. When you start to journal, I don't want you guys to just write down, I had a dream about grandma. That's not journaling. When you start writing down things, start writing everything that you can remember while your mind is still fresh. Because y'all know with dreams, you remember it for a while and then you'll forget, or you'll start to forget bits and pieces of it. Hey, Yvette, good to see you. So if you dream about the ex or any person, you dreamed about them. Try to remember where you were. What color were the walls? Like even the stuff that you think are small details that do not matter. You think they don't matter. You feel like, it don't matter what color the floor was. It doesn't matter whether it was an old TV in the dream or whether it was a new wall. You know what y'all call them things in flat screens. You know, pay attention to all those things that you think are not important and journal them. Yes, Jazzy, the details. Sometimes the message or the warning is in the details. Let me read JC's point, and I'm going to tell y'all something that happened to me, and maybe it'll illustrate it, and hopefully you won't think I'm crazy. But some people tend to do that with me. People tend to think I'm a little off, and I'm not crazy, I promise y'all. Um, JC's notes, point number 2, pay attention to other elements that may trigger memories using a multisensory approach. Try to recall everything by writing down your memories from dreams as soon as you wake up. Yeah, it's very important, okay? And that's all right. You filling in for DT. You say your dreams have been X-rated. Journaling knows will be fun. Well, we actually covered that. And that's not a good thing, Haitian Ellen. You see my contact information? My email is shanitra@philsdaughter.com. My Instagram is shanitra_royal. So, if you can't get in touch with me, because that's not a good thing, but you definitely want to journal that because that's usually an indication that something very bad is happening. And we don't want to indulge in those. If you're a lucid dreamer or you're able to train yourself to become lucid or train yourself to recognize that, hey, I'm dreaming, this is not real. We want you to be able to do that, and we can help, by journaling, by meditation, to give you the ability to do that. We want you to try to reject those things. We don't want you to accept that and indulge in it because you may be entering into an agreement with an entity that you don't want to. Okay, you may be entering into covenants that you don't want to be engaged in. So you got to be real careful with stuff like that. It's not safe. So, I'm glad you brought that up though, because that's an excellent reason to be journaling. Lala says, lately the setting of my dreams have been outdoors. And that's why we journal. That's why I say journaling is important. Yeah, we got to start writing things down because it's very, very important, the details. So this is what I was going to tell y'all about, right? So this happened to me when I was in high school, many, 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 many moons ago. I don't want to add all the minis as necessary, but take my word for it. It's a whole lot of minis. Hey, beautiful Shalom. Okay. And before I go into that, Miami in November says, never knew I was lucid. I could change my dreams as they go. Yes. And that is an excellent ability. Some people think everybody has it, but they may not know how to access it. So that's awesome. When you can do that, then when you see something that you know shouldn't be happening, you can resist, you can reject it, you can walk away. Hey, Wani. Okay. No, it's a whole lot of minis, Alondra. It's many minis in that mini. Okay. So I was maybe, I want to say 15 or 16. I can't swear to it. I know it was one or the other. And I don't want to tell it wrong, but somewhere along in there. And I was asleep. I thought I was awake. You know how you have those dreams where you think you're awake, but you're really not, right? So that's what had happened. I thought I was awake. I really was not awake by no stretch of the imagination. Okay? No stretch of the imagination was I awake at all. I got up. I remember the way our home was made. A lot of those houses in Florida are like ranch style houses. We don't have a whole lot of hey, learning to love myself. We don't have a lot of 2-story houses there. Like it's some, but especially back in the day, it was very common to see ranch style houses. So you would walk in the living room and the living room is there, and you walk across the hallway or like the front of the hallway, and across that would be the kitchen. A lot of us had eat-in kitchens, and then the hallway would extend to the back of the house, and down the hallway you'd have a bathroom, and then the doors to the various bedrooms, right? Okay, some of y'all old enough to know what I'm talking about, with those ranch style houses. And so in the dream, I came out of my bedroom, which was down the hall, and I walked to the living room and kitchen area, and I turned to go into the kitchen. And when I got right by the refrigerator, which was in the doorway, I saw a man in the living room. Well, by that time, my sister was back from Atlanta. She had went to school and messed up and ended up having to come back. Her kid was already there. Like, it was the whole thing. But a lot of times I had to watch her kid and take care of him. And it was just a whole thing. We'll get into that another day. But anyway, I saw this man, and he was a tall guy, and nothing really remarkable about him. He was kind of darker skinned. He almost looked like somebody my sister would date. She always liked him real rough looking. This guy looked a little too clean, and I couldn't really put my hands on it. You know, I paid attention to him enough to, look at him, and I'm thinking, okay, my sister must have invited somebody over. Not much to it, but he just stood there, and I remember I spoke to the man, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he didn't return my greeting. He just stared at me. And so at first I didn't pay attention to the fact that the living room was not the living room that was current at that time. Instead, it was showing the old living room before mama changed the carpet. So there was a old green shag carpet. Some of y'all remember them shag carpets. You might not admit to it, but y'all do. And there was that floor model TV. How many of y'all remember them floor model TVs that had the big speakers on either side of the screen, and it looked like a little crisscross grid on it? And your mama used to put the little doilies and stuff with like a little piece of, some type of runner on top, and they sit they knickknacks up there. Do y'all remember that? Am I talking to anybody? Is anybody out there? Miami in November? Okay, you remember. Because y'all know I get the quote and get it right. Don't wait till I get to the end of the stream and say, oh, yeah, now I remember. Don't do that. Okay, you remember. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. So at first, I didn't even realize that it wasn't happening. I thought that it was the regular living room as it was. Mom had updated everything. Yes, the true Black experience. That's what it was. That's what it was. And so after a minute, my eyes adjusted because I was starting to get offended, y'all, because the man wouldn't speak to me. He was just staring at me like I was crazy. And so I I looked at him because I was real aggressive back then. Even from the time I was a young girl, I always been real aggressive, real rough. So I was getting ready. Yeah, them wood ones. Yes, they called a console TV. Exactly. That's the one. That's right. In the basement, they would be there too. When we went to our cousins' houses that had basements in other states, up north and whatnot. And so when I turned all the way toward this man, that's when I realized that the floor model TV was there. I saw that before I saw the carpet. Still didn't register that I was dreaming. I just knew that it was strange. And so while I'm looking at the television, I was able to see through his hip. So the man was standing there, but apparently he wasn't silent because I could see, if you stand in front of something, I can't see through your hip. You remember our mamas used to say, I didn't make no glass. Right. That's right, Mace. It doubled as a stand. They put everything on it, including the family Bible and them ugly candlesticks that everybody mama had. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so at about that time, the man started to like get solid, and he started to take steps toward me. And I remember in that dream, I started like praying. I don't know whether I was praying or just saying scriptures. I don't know what I was doing. And I didn't even know where the words was coming from. I was just talking. And I remember like the more I was saying these scriptures or praying or whatever, he wasn't solid anymore. Like he was more and more see-through. And then I got scared and I stopped. And the minute I stopped, he got solid again and started coming toward me. And then I started back praying or whatever, and he was gone. So I woke up, Went about my day. I went to school. I remember telling one of my good friends, her name was Raymonda. I wonder where that girl is, but she was real cool. So we were talking about it, and she's telling me some crazy dream she had. Y'all, I didn't think no more about it. And when I say for years, I thought no more about it at all. Didn't cross my mind. And it was so weird. It was so weird because it was after I had, yep, that's right. Don't let them buttons pop off. So it was after I had Geneva, the one that comes in here with us, my little peanut, all those years back. But that was still years from then because I was married when I had her. I mean, I had her years later. And I had her, I think she was about 2 years old. And I was pregnant with my son. And I went to go visit my friend. She was having a barbecue. And you know how you had them friends that, they throw barbecues, but everybody got to come over and cook. Well, she was that friend. And she was a little hoodish, but that was my dog. And she still is. I still love her. We went over there. We started cooking because they ain't had nothing cooked. We in there cooking. We in the kitchen. She goes to the grocery store and come back with a man, that wasn't no surprise for her because she liked men a whole lot. And it just is what it is. So she came back with a man and the groceries. She had found a man to pay for the groceries and told the man he could come back there and eat with us. So I said, leave it to her to come back with a man. So I'm not paying attention to this guy, y'all. I have a habit of not even looking men in the face. That's just my habit. So the man came in. He was friendly enough, but he wasn't talkative. He was standing around. He never took a seat. My baby was sitting there. He picked up my little girl. And at that point, then my eyes popped open. And so I carefully removed her from his hands and was like, we don't want her to pick it up. I don't know if your clothes clean. And put her right back on the floor. Still didn't pay any attention to this man. So fast forward about a day or two, I saw this same guy again in the Winn-Dixie parking lot. Some of y'all know about Winn-Dixie. Those of y'all from Florida, I know y'all know about a Winn-Dixie. I'm in the Winn-Dixie parking lot. I'm running in there because I wanted to get some cabbage where I could cook some cabbage and cornbread and pork chops. So I went running in there. Okay, I hurried up and slid my baby right back. Don't be picking up my baby. So I was real funny, even from the time I just had her. And so I went to Winn-Dixie, y'all. I came out to Winn-Dixie, and this same man is standing there. And so he made me remember who he was, and that was okay. And I looked at him in the face for the first time. Y'all, I had the shock of my life. That was the same man I had seen when I was a little girl in my mother's house in that dream. I don't know who that guy was supposed to be, but I found out that day, dude was bad news. His eyes didn't even look right. They almost looked like they were dead. And he kept trying to tell me that, follow him to his house. He had something he wanted to give me for my daughter, like basically trying to lure me out of that parking lot. I was never friendly, so I don't know if that would have worked regardless. But it was just remembering that I had seen that man and having that memory triggered. Like it helped me to be even more conscious of it to the extent that I put my baby in the car, locked the doors. I had the window open, but I addressed him with my kid locked in that car. Like I wouldn't even leave her out of the car at that point. And I made that conversation real short and I got up out of there. But I said all that to say sometimes what you see, you won't even get confirmation or you won't even run into it in your waking state or while you walking around. It can be years later before stuff comes back to you. It can literally be years before you'll see the thing that you dreamed about. In reality, I don't know whether that man was going to do something to me or not. Honestly, I don't know what he had in his mind. I don't know what even made him think that he could tell me to follow him to his house. And I had never seen him before. Oh, I got a cash app from Stacy Creasy. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. I appreciate it. She says, for just a little something. I appreciate you so much. That was awesome. But that was the whole point of me explaining that is because, that's one instance, but there's been other instances where I've seen something and I didn't see the evidence of what the warning was or what it was about until years later. So again, journaling, super important. Super important. That's right, Mace. That dream warned me years prior. So I don't know how bad that man was. I don't know what he had in his mind to do to me or to my child. However, the fact that I had got that warning years back was enough to make me stay on my toes. I took extra precautions at that point. Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, that's why I say journal, pay attention, don't ignore things. Do not ignore anything because everything got a reason. Thank you, Diva too. That's the truth. That ain't nothing but the truth. So it's like, point number 3, remember and apply the warnings brought to you in your dreams. They have no expiration date. I like the way you put that, JC, because that's real. You don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know. Sometimes you'll dream something and right away, you see the evidence like, oh, shoot, I just dreamed about that or whatever. Or to come back up in conversation or something to that effect. So it's like when you write things down, make a note of it. Pay attention. Some things are going to stick with you and they're so vivid. Like I saw somebody in here saying that they have lucid dreams or vivid dreams about their mom. Or I don't know whether it was a mom or a grandmom. I think y'all were saying mom. But things like that, they're so vivid to where you're not going to forget about that. You're just not going to forget about it. But on the other hand, there are some things that you're going to think is not a big deal, and you may forget those details. Make sure that you don't. Make sure that you write them down. Yes, please hit that like button. Phyllis said, "Ooh, child, finally finished with work." Yep, I know. Yeah, those console TVs were the truth. Yeah, the warnings are important. So, like, please pay attention to them. Desi say that's a good thing. That's why I talk about my dreams that I can remember no matter how crazy it sounds. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, Jazzy. A lot of times that's the challenge. The challenge is that we are afraid of sounding crazy. Even me. Y'all know I'm not shy, but a lot of times I am afraid of sounding crazy. When you start explaining stuff. When I went through that as a girl, I didn't want to go tell nobody. I told my friend because me and her used to talk about stuff like that. That's why I say it's good to have a solid circle of friends or people that you trust with certain information. Because I was comfortable talking to her because we had those kind of conversations. But I didn't tell anybody else that I saw that and I was nervous or, I'll try to explain what I saw in that dream. Anybody else would have thought I was crazy. And I only got the nerve to say the stuff I do now because I don't care if people think I'm crazy now. Like, it's okay. I always say, y'all, please don't think I'm crazy. But it's all right if you do. Like, I ain't going to die about it. M. Renee Spiller says that was a warning. That man was dangerous. I think so. I really think so because I had never seen him before. Like I told y'all, I don't hide that I'm from a small town. I'm from Ocala, Florida. That is not no huge place. There's a lot of people there, but we all pretty much know each other. And if we don't know you, we know somebody who knows you. Nobody knew that guy. And after a while, nobody saw him in town anymore. So we don't know whether he was somebody just that came to town to do something dirty. How they used to say in the movies, a drifter. It could have been anything, but it was definitely a warning. Mace, thank you so much for the super chat. Says pay attention to the feeling you have in the dreams as well. Girl, you better say that. Yes. If it was a dream where you woke up fearful, you waking up with your heart racing, you feel like you want to run out the room, remember that. If you felt sad in the dream, all of those things are important. So when you start journaling, don't leave any of that stuff out. And that's awesome, Jazzy, that y'all can talk about that stuff together. Because a lot of ladies can't talk about that with their men. And the reason being, a lot of men don't want to hear it. They think that women are crazy. When we start talking about our dreams and our intuition, it gets dismissed. And I think that's why a lot of us do not talk about things because we've been dismissed so many times by the people around us. Usually men are the first ones to dismiss you. So it's awesome that he's there for you. You're going to start journaling? Yes. Very important. It, Jazzy, I'm telling you, I 100% believe that was a warning. Yes, I'm telling you, because it was too much, like to even have that connection in my brain. Like, I know you, even though I didn't know his name. It was like I know who you are. DC said, I side eye anyone, especially men that just go picking up children. No sir, no sir. Exactly. It was just weird. Like as soon as he picked her up, like my first instinct was to immediately remove her from his hands. Okay. Phyllis say I talk to myself out loud so people will know not to mess with me. Now you know that's one way to go about it now. You say you dream about your dad who has passed on, but he never speaks. That's a very good thing, Leslie, because dead folks and living ain't got nothing in common. So your daddy is, you might actually be seeing him because he would never speak to you. And anybody comes speaking to you using your daddy's face, that is not him. So that's really sweet. I see my dad a lot too, and he can't talk to me either because we're in two different places. But it's still comforting to be able to see him. Hey, Wicked 548, I ain't seen you in a little minute. And my husband says I'm always fighting in mine. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what they say, a drifter, because there are people that will pass through towns, do a lot of really bad stuff, and leave. So I really think that could have been who that man was. I never knew his name. And even when he made me remember him from my friend's house, he still never said his name. He was like, yeah, remember I met you over at your friend's house? Y'all were having a barbecue. I saw your little baby. He never said his name. Hey, BJ Dez. Jazzy says, that's why I love him, because we are open and talk about everything. And he is like me. Say what comes to mind. That's nice. That's so nice. Alondra says, what kind of grown man picks up babies that aren't even his? I've heard horror stories like this on Reddit. Yeah, some of them horror stories, I'm tempted to believe some of the people is really telling the truth. Hey, Velda. DC says, but that's a lesson. Don't ignore those instincts and visions. Exactly. Y'all know we talked about this on a previous Crown Chat about, paying attention and not ignoring what you see. And don't ignore your intuition. I don't care who tells you that it's nothing or who dismisses it and tries to make you feel stupid or silly. Like, pay attention. Hey, Felicia Marie. All right. Jaja says a whole predator. Exactly. Mm-hmm. May said, yes, my husband thought I was crazy until he started seeing what I said come to fruition. Exactly. But y'all know sometimes they will see the evidence of what you told them about or what you told them you saw in a dream or a warning, and they'll listen for the minute. But the very next time you come and tell them, they'll act like you never told them anything to help them. They'll pretend like they never saw what you told them the first time. DC said the kind that wanted to be popped, but I would have flipped out. Now, DC, I'm gonna tell you something. It was weird. I didn't even, for me to be somebody that was that aggressive. At that time, I was extremely aggressive. Like I carry guns everywhere now. I used to carry multiple. It was something in me that just would not let me act like that day. It was like something was telling me not this time. Like, don't do it this time. I would fight a man in a minute. Like back then, it was nothing. Like I told y'all, I can. I challenge you to find somebody to say I hit a woman. That's just not my thing. So we'll fight a man in a minute. We'll get aggressive, cut up and act a fool in a minute. But it was something strange that day, y'all. Like when I saw that man's face, it did something to me. Like my mind went on high alert. Like I was in a high stress, very dangerous situation. And my instincts were telling me, get your kid out of here. And that's all I had in my mind was get my kid out of there. I didn't care about nothing else. Now I still had that thing up under the seat. Had he gotten too close, then it would have went down whichever way it went down. But everything in my instinct said, get your kid out of here. I had a bad feeling, and I don't even know. Jaja say, yo, I'm surprised when that man picked up your baby. The gorilla with angel wings didn't come out. I don't know what it was, and I think that was a protection too, because there was something really wrong with that man. And yeah, at the end of the day, like you can have a temper, you can be a gorilla, but there's always something better than you. And there's a such thing as underestimating people when you really don't know how evil a person is. There's some people you think you understand what you're looking at, and there's some people it's a whole lot more evil below that surface. And I think that's why we get warnings like that. Jazzy says, I see my mother in my dreams, and she's normally hugging me and smiling. But this latest one, though, she didn't hug me and she wasn't smiling. I'm so worried. Mm. What you say, God knew? Very true. Very true. Jazzy said, if your mind was telling you that, always follow your first mind. And that's what I did. My first mind was like, whatever else I've been, I would like to think I've always been a protective and a good mother. So the minute I had that feeling like, get my kid out of here, that's all that was in my mind. And I was, making a mental note of under the seat, which side that thing was sitting on, whether it was close to the console or closer to the door. That's the only thing I had on my mind because I really, I felt like at that point my life was in danger. And mind you, he didn't make no threats, nothing. It was just the remembering and realizing that that was a whole warning. DC says, "Woo, child, that got my pressure up, but you have to trust yourself." I told my friend that God babies can hug me when they get good and ready. Teach them to trust their instincts too. Yeah, but she was so little. She wasn't even like, nobody trying to hug nobody. My kids ain't never been friendly. Yep, I listen to that voice because there's some people out there that's not ordinary people. Right, Diva too. That was the first thing in my mind. Let me get my baby to safety. Everything else could sit where it sit. I felt like I needed to get my kid to a safe place. You on auntie duty? That's what's up. So, again, the takeaway. I'm gonna hit you with the takeaway. The link is at the top of the chat. So if y'all have anything like you want to ask questions on, anytime we have one of our dream days or metaphysical days, if y'all got questions or anything that I might be able to try to interpret for you, you're always welcome to grab the link and come up. But if you don't want to, that's cool too. But I made it available. Pink Paisley says they are good at disguising their true intentions. My great nana taught me that at a young age. It's true. So you can't just take things at face value. Like face value, I looked him over and it was like, okay, I might not have been able to just beat him flat out. It would have been a fair fight. Definitely could have handled him. But something in me said, not this one. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I had that feeling, but something said, not this guy. Something's wrong with it. And Alondra says, my husband's co-worker's mom just passed away. And the night they buried her, he and his son dreamed of her sitting and talking with them. They never got to talk to her while she was in the hospital. Wow. Okay. DC said, and just think how many times we listen to people tell us how to act. And oh, that's crazy, but build trust in yourself. Great story. It was, it didn't feel so great when it was going down. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, Alondra.
Hi, Sanitra.
How
I'm
you
not going to show my
doing?
face because I look kind of rough. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. I'm just glad you popped up here to talk to us.
Yes, I love your show, Sanitra. So
I
I
love
wanted to
y'all
talk.
back. I'm echoing in the background. Do you have me open on another screen?
I'm sorry?
Do you have me open on another screen? I hear an echo in the background.
No, just this one. How
Are
do
you on a
I?
laptop?
No, on a phone.
Hmm. Okay, well, just talk. I'll mute my mic and tell me what it is.
Okay. So this one, I had a dream. This one was kind of scary. And like ever since I was a little girl, like I would have scary things happen to me. And I feel like when you're when you're right with God, like evil things always try to attack you. So I've always had scary things happen to me when since I was a little girl. Well, this one happened when I was like 28. And I remember that in my dream, I floated above my body and I could see myself with my back turned to the closet. And when I saw that, I got really scared because at that time I was staying with my aunt. And that was actually my cousin's room. And my cousin would never sleep in that room because him and his brother, they said that that room scared them and that there was something in the closet. And so they would always sleep in the living room together. Well, that night I dreamed that I floated above my body and that I could see my back turned to the closet because the way I had positioned the bed, it was near the closet. And when I saw that, I instantly felt a lot of fear because I have fear turning my back to the open space in the room. And so that day, I remember as soon as I saw that and I felt fear, I went back in my body and I woke up all of a sudden. And when I woke up, the bottom of the mattress was shaking as if somebody was lifting it up and down, up and down, up and down. And it was shaking really hard.
Mm.
And then I have another dream. I used, whenever I was homeless, there was a point in time when me and my husband were homeless, and one of our friends had let us stay in a thrift store. And thrift stores tend to have a lot of antique things and things that have a lot of energy from other people because it's other people's belongings.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was asleep and I remember that there was some kind of creature in my dream that came and it it snatched my spirit out of my body, and like the Hulk slammed Loki down
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, it snatched my body, just it snatched my spirit out of my body like that, and it slammed me down on the ground before I could even scream inside my dream. And then all of a sudden I woke up, like like the Lord woke me up, like, no, this is not going to happen, and it woke me up. But I'm constantly having dreams like that even now, where I see terrible things, like just terrible things, like things warning me, or like end of the world type of dreams.
I think a lot of us have been having those end of the world type dreams lately. I think that's because of things that are going on, in the metaphysical around us, different things that are about to come to pass. And I think a lot more of you, um, I think a lot more of you have, and I don't want to say prophetic because that's an office. Ain't no prophets. I'm not even going there, but I think a lot more of us have that intuition than we know. So I think sometimes we're picking up on the signals that are just out there that something bad is about to happen. I'm definitely not going to discount what you saw because you saw it, and I trust what you say because those were your eyes, um, spiritual and material. But it sounds like there's something that's after you. Things like that happen. And I don't want you to feel, like you crazy or what have you. And I know it's difficult to even talk about stuff like that because you know how it's going to sound to people. But definitely the best thing you want to do is pray and protect yourself. If you are seeing in your dream that you're in a specific place and this is happening, it's probably a warning or a good idea not to be in that place. You know what I
You
mean?
know, yeah, I do agree, because when I pray, I don't have those dreams.
Okay, so then you already know what to do.
I had an experience back in 2013. Um, I tend to move around a lot because I like traveling, but when I was 30, I went back to my mom's house for a time before I moved on again. And then this one wasn't actually a dream, but I feel like it's worth telling people it, because I do believe that people, see, um, I don't know how to call it, otherworldly things or
Mm-hmm.
spiritual things. But one time I was asleep and my nephew had rented the movie, where this little boy, how he dreams and he astral projects into like a
Right.
different dimension. I forgot what the movie is. Um,
I think you're
anyway,
talking about Sinister or something. No, not Sinister.
yeah, something,
No, not
not
it's not
finished.
Sinister. It was oh crapola. What is the name of that movie with the little boy? Um, y'all, what was the name of that movie? What was the name of
He
y'all?
goes into another, like when he sleeps, he goes into another realm.
I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. Doggone it. Oh man. It was oh, if I wasn't trying to remember that movie, I could
I
remember.
can't remember either.
I'm getting
But
old. And I think that was one
I
that had like Lorraine Warren in it, where she was
and then
coming there to help them go into their mind to try to find the boy in the further. They kept saying he was in the further, and the parents moved houses, and the thing was still following the kid.
uh-huh.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. No, y'all, it ain't no Sixth Sense. She's talking about what is a one name title. Mm.
And it
Like
was like an old lady, and she looked like a demon.
well, yeah,
Like at
because
first
the
she tried
father
to help
had
them.
one the father had one that had been following him too, and it was supposed to be an old woman.
Yes.
And his mother had called Lorraine Warren back in the day because every time she took the picture, the lady was getting closer and closer.
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's the movie. That's it. Well, see, he rented that movie, and
Mm-hmm.
so I don't like watching scary movies,
Mm-hmm.
because they hit me different. And so he asked me to watch it with him, and I was just in there watching it with him, and he went
So
to sleep.
Insidious, that's the one. I knew it was a one word title.
Insidious, yes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, because girl, that thing was gonna worry me to death.
Same here. And so I watched the movie with him, and in the movie, oh, he also rented Amityville Horror. So
Mm-hmm.
in the Amityville Horror movie, there was a part where the closet opened up when the little girl was upstairs while she was by herself in one of the rooms, and the closet opened up, and I got so scared. And um, for some reason, that stuck with me that night when I went to bed. Now, since I was at my mom's house, me and my two nieces shared rooms there, and my bed was positioned to where if the door was open, you can see down the dark hallway, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like that, so I always kept the door shut. And when I shut that door that night, I would always sleep with the bathroom lights on so they could stream into the room. Well, that night my niece was watching TV, and I figured to myself, the TV's enough light, no need to turn on the bathroom lights. So I just left the TV on. Well, that night I woke up, but I wasn't really, my eyes weren't really awake. I was awake, but I wasn't awake with my eyeballs. I was seeing without opening my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I saw the same thing happen as in the movie. The door to the bedroom, it popped open, it clicked open. And I remember trying to wake up, but it was like my mind's eye, my third eye could see everything. And immediately when I saw that dark hallway, I looked to the bathroom lights because that dark screen from Netflix had popped up, and there was no light no more on the screen. So it was just that black screen. And so I looked at the bathroom lights, and I kicked myself, and I said, "Oh shit, you forgot to turn on the bathroom lights." And so I tried to force myself to wake up, and I was frozen where I was at. I could not get up. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't wake up. And then after that, I felt a lot of energy, like I was trying to force myself and fight whatever it was. And so then before I could get up or anything, my the bedroom door popped open, and I saw an alien gray, and he was short, and he said, "Follow us." And I screamed out with real words in real time. I said, "No." And then a second alien gray that was a little bit taller than him, behind him, popped open the door, and he said, "Follow us." They both said it at the same time. And again, with my real words, I said, "No." And then a third alien gray that was taller than them, it was like short, medium, and tall. He also popped in behind them and they all three said, "Follow us." And I screamed, "No."
But see, look what
Now,
my in November is telling you before you go into that too far. He's telling you the truth. It can be fear induced. That's not good because spirits do prey on that. So it's kind of like whatever you're afraid of, you got to be careful because there are different spirits that can feed on that and show you all kind of crazy stuff. Because it sounds like at this point they just
mm,
mess with your head. Velda say you have to stay away from demonic things, which is very true. Be careful what you take into your eyes. Now, some stuff I don't mind a little spooky movie or whatever, but I think we all got sense enough to know when something is way too much. Okay, when it's way too much, and when it is, it's like okay, it's time to back back. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful what you
Yes.
put into your eyes. Okay, your eye gate is real, just like your
So
ear gate is
true.
real. So, it sounds like you've been exposed to some stuff. It's very important. Watch yourself because something is messing with you. That ain't even a normal situation. That's just something that likes your fear response. And so it's doing everything possible to scare the hell out of you. Okay? And you need to pray. Because I think I heard you say that don't happen when you pray. So that means
Yeah,
that,
that doesn't
that
have
means
things
there's
like
other
that
times.
don't happen when I pray.
Right. That means there's other times that you don't pray. You need to be very careful and make sure you do that every night because something is getting a kick out of scaring you because that seems real specialized. It's very few people that sit up and they scared of aliens. So if that's happening to you, that's something that knows what you're afraid of, and they doing stuff to mess with you.
Mm.
Trying to elicit a fear response. Okay, now I don't know your business, so I ain't gonna dig too deep. But some of the stuff that we engage in, if you can follow me, some of the movies, some of the people that do a lot of really crazy stuff, you gotta distance yourself because things can attach themselves to you, even without you trying to do anything out of the way. Sometimes being a little too lax, being a little too relaxed in our behaviors, it, it leaves the door open for stuff to happen. DC saying, don't speak everything into the universe. Sometimes write it and burn it. That's a very good idea too. Yeah, keep praying.
What do you
Jazz
mean,
said,
like
don't.
write my dream down
Yeah,
and burn it?
you can. She say burn it. I mean, I feel like if symbolically that helps you to destroy the image in your mind, it don't hurt to burn it. But definitely journal. Write the things down. Don't say them. Some stuff don't even say that out. But this was to elicit a fear response in you. So you can't allow that to happen. Like you got to put a stop to it. As to say, don't eat chocolate before bed, girl. I'm gonna eat my chocolate before bed. Something about that. If I get a taste for, hey, listen, I got a bag of them. What's them things? Them some treasures from Hershey's, the almonds. I got them things right by the bed. And if I get a taste for it, I'm gonna grab me one. Shakila say the Holy Ghost spirit inside of me says no to all. Yeah, no, just no. All of the no's. Mm-hmm.
See, I'm just gonna say, I've always been God fearing. I come from a Catholic family, and I used to go. My mom used to let me go to church by myself as a little girl. The people from the church would come and they would knock on people's doors in my neighborhood in Hammond, and I lived in a suburb outside of Chicago. The church was located in Hammond, Indiana, so it was 2 hours away from where I lived, but they would come and knock on the whole neighborhood's doors trying to get people to come to church. And I remember my mom letting me make that choice to go to church on my own at 7 years old, at
Well, I'm
6 years
glad
old.
that you went, and I hope that you still continue to go. If not, have a good relationship on your own with your master. But girl, you got to be careful. Don't speak all that stuff. Be careful. Be careful. You got to know the difference. You got to know the difference because things like that are only there to elicit a fear response. Okay, our master did not give us a spirit of fear. So anything that's
Hmm.
eliciting a fear response is something that you need to reject immediately. You don't need to carry that around with you. Reject that because
Okay.
the things that you speak, you give birth to. And it's like we were talking earlier. I don't know if you made it to Good Morning Royals this morning, but I popped in just to say hey or whatever. And we got on the topic of I was telling everybody I want to do a an autumn masquerade like a week before Devil Day because we don't do that. It's little stuff like that. You got to be careful when you engage in certain things, even if you're doing it with fun in mind. And I'm doing air quotes, fun in mind. Sometimes you're allowing entry for things into your life that don't need to be there. Sometimes the people that we sit up and laugh and talk with, if their spirit ain't right, you allowing that type of stuff into your space, into your atmosphere. So again, we have to be super, super, super careful. And with you having that type of sensitivity, Alondra, I'm gonna just say, I don't think it might be a good idea for you to be watching scary movies.
No,
I'm
I definitely don't watch them. That was the last time that when that day that he asked me to, that was the last time I watched scary movies. But I am into my word. I keep a relationship with the Most High. I stay into my word. I'm not one of those people that does, questionable, again, air quotations,
right,
questionable things. I
right.
don't even go to church when they have the Oktoberfest and all that because I don't
Hmm.
believe in that. I don't believe in the
Right. I
pagan
get you with
beliefs.
that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is sometimes even the company we keep, the things we take into our eyes, the things we listen to, all of those things are an influence or can be an influence over us. So like just be super careful. Your background is real loud too. Um,
I'm sorry, that's a horn from the shipyard.
oh wow. But yeah, be very hey Wanda, be very careful about the things that you take in. Be very,
Do you
very
think that
careful.
it could be, do you know how people say that sometimes you have soul ties with people
I
when
don't
after
think
you
this has
have sex with
anything to
them?
do with that. This that is soul ties are a real thing, but what you just told us about that has nothing to do with that. This is a fear response.
Yeah,
That
because
was
I am scared of the dark.
right. That was a fear response. That ain't got nothing to do with soul ties. That's something altogether different. But we can't stay too long. But I thank you for sharing
All
with us.
right.
That was really super. And matter of fact, I haven't talked to you in a long time, so I'm real happy that you came up to have a talk with us.
Thank you, Sanitra. I always like that you have me. Thank you.
Oh,
I enjoy
anytime.
your
Thank
show.
you, Alondra. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. I want to get some more of these comments. Jaja says, speak over things instead of saying that scared me. Say I had an interaction that I was uncomfortable with, but I'm more superior than the discomfort. I mean, that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it. Base what you say was that when it started. Um, I don't think they got nothing to do with no soul tie. They ain't got nothing to do with a man. That's something else going on there. Yeah, Miami in November. That's the point. Stop letting things leach onto you from fear. That is not a soul tie. That's true. Hank Paisley says, and never let anyone pressure you out of your comfort zone. Don't people please. You better say that again. Because there are people that will do that and, try to make you feel like you're a wet blanket because you're not engaging in certain things. That's right, Black Diamond. Guard your eye gate, your ear gate, and your nose gate. Be careful. Hey, Sweet Blue. That's my Serene. You know what? I recognize that avatar anywhere. When I dream, I have always been able to see, even though I've covered both my eyes. It's a great realization that my third eye was seeing the whole time. I mean, I guess I don't know about that third eye stuff. Um, yes, welcome, welcome, Sweet Blue. I knew that was you when I saw your avatar. I knew that was you. Yeah, Black Diamond is telling the truth. You got to guard what you take into your eyes. Some of that stuff they put on television, even some of the stuff they put in music, it's deeper. Now I'm not one of those conspiracy crazy people where it's like everything is a ritual and this and that. Like that's to me, that's a bunch of bull crap, to be honest. And I honestly feel like engaging in some of those conversations where you talking about rituals and making up stuff, I think that you kind of open yourself up for trouble doing that too. So we just have to be careful, and the takeaway from this whole thing, because I don't know how we got off on that tangent, but I guess it happens. Tangents are good sometimes. Is that you want to be mindful of when the things that you've dreamed about previously confront you in real life. Like it can happen. It can really happen. Hey, Marva. So the reality is this. We want to take away that if we do see something and it triggers a memory, and it triggers a memory, make sure that you confirm it for yourself. Stop and ask yourself, hey, is this really what I think I saw? Don't try to explain it away. We don't do fear around here. That belongs to them other people. Fear don't have nothing to do with us. Make sure, and then start to pay attention to everything else happening around that thing that's triggering the memory. The second takeaway is try to recall other important details or dynamic details that were in that dream. Important ones and the small ones too, because that's important. Little things that anything that stuck out to you, make sure that when you're journaling, you write those things down. That is very important, super important. Okay. So make sure you're paying attention to all of the details, not just the one major detail that grabs your mind. Okay, very important. Jazzy says, "Well, my fear of my closet manifested in my adulthood from my childhood, and a creature came out my closet and sat on the bed. My God, well, I'm glad you all right." DT says, "Sorry, Shanitra and Royal family, late again due to me just waking up. I'll watch the repeat." No, you don't have to be sorry. We know you're on the other side of the world. Okay, it's cool. Yeah, I know, right? That's scary. Before we fall asleep, ask the Holy Spirit for protection as we slumber. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know what? It bothered you because it was something just to make you afraid. So just reject it. Remember, we covered that in Crown Chat. You have the power to reject anything. You do not have to accept it. And yes, Velda, we covered that in Crown Chat too. Some dreams are symbolism. Most dreams are symbolic. Some are literal. And there are some ladies in here who told us they have straight dreams. They dream it just like it comes out. So there's both. There are people who dream literally. Most of us do have a lot of symbolism in our dreams. May says when the church people took her alone when she was 7, I was wondering what that was when the situation started. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a question for Alondra. Okay, good to see you. So you want to take that away. When you're journaling, write down every detail, no matter how small or insignificant you may think it is. Make sure you're writing down every detail. And thirdly, recall the outcome of the dream. And someone else made a good point. I can't remember which one of y'all said it. Um, which was even how you felt. I think that was Miss that said, recall how you felt in the dream. If the dream made you afraid, if it made you sad, if you were crying, journal everything, recall the outcome. So that way, when you start to see, whatever is giving you that feeling of deja vu where your mind is really desperately trying to connect the dots, what you want to do is make sure you recall the outcome. If you're having the deja vu at first, it's a matter of okay, I've seen this somewhere before. So you're not really considering all the things in the first second. It takes a while. It takes the mind a while to process everything that's going on. And then after that, remember the outcome. Like, was this a bad dream? Was this a good dream? Was I afraid? Was I sad? Did I feel alone? Like, what was going on? So make sure that you can either recall what it was that you saw on your own or that you're journaling so that you can go back and reference what it is that you encountered during that dream state. That is very, very, very important. Um, Look, that's what I got for today. I hope it was helpful. I hope it will make you kind of think and pay attention and not overlook those little deja vu moments. I hope it doesn't make you, I hope it makes you kind of, take notice when something does not look right. When something, it's like it's pricking your nerves. It's like, I know this. I know I've seen that before. Shakila says, I've said it before in another crown chat. I woke up to an angel covering me and at that time I needed protection. Yeah, you did say that. Wanda says the scary part is that some dreams seem too real. And I think, and this is just me, I can't say that I researched this nowhere. I believe that when they seem too real like that, I think that's when it's really a warning. Like it's almost like you're watching a movie. Y'all had them dreams where it looked like you're watching a movie, but it ain't no movie. I think that it happens like that because we need to get all the details, and that's why it's so clear and so real and so vivid. And I think that so we'll realize it's a warning, and we'll take note of everything that we're seeing. So Again, when the thing you dreamed about is in front of you, I don't care if it's a glass of water and the glass was really different. And when you saw it, it got your attention. Hey, Sharrell. And you're like, oh, dang, I've seen that before. And it starts to trigger that memory. Go through all those steps. Don't explain it away. Confirm that this is really what you saw. Examine it and try to remember. And then pay attention to all the details happening around it. Also, recall other details that you saw in that dream and try to connect more dots. Like, am I seeing anything else that coincides with this to kind of confirm that this is the thing that I was warned about in that dream? And then also finally recall the outcome of that dream, how you felt when you woke up, whether it was a positive outcome so that you can proceed and kind of feel reassured, or if it was a negative outcome and you know to be warned and maybe change your course or change whatever decision you were about to make based on the warning, that red flag is waving in your face. It's almost like, I hate to be goofy, but y'all know I'm a little goofy sometimes. Like that movie Final Destination. Did any of y'all see Final Destination? Y'all know the one where the boy was on the airplane and he saw the little stuff. He woke up and everything started happening kind of like the way it happened in his dream, and he was like, I gotta get off this plane, and he got off the plane. And it's like that. So like throughout that movie, it would be little things like he would see stuff and it would just catch his attention. And y'all know we've been through that in life. We'll see little things, and yes, the logs on the truck. And you welcome, Alondra. You know we always got your back. Okay. And yeah, we were. I think a lot of us watched all of them because those were really interesting, and how like literally it'll be little things that'll catch your attention that's really trying to send a message. You know how we covered in the other crown chat about signs and warnings, and we really got into things that we see that not even dream related, but just little things that you'll see that you will know is out of place. You're in the middle of a dirty, dusty junkyard, and a beautiful butterfly just pops out. It's gonna get your attention. You look for the things that are out of place. You look for the things that are out of place. Always look for the things that don't look just right. And definitely, if it's something that triggers that deja vu feeling, pay close attention because you know, something is about to occur it was at least noteworthy enough that you were given a warning before it happened. It was noteworthy enough. Like you got to consider if it wasn't important, you wouldn't have even got a warning. It just would have happened and you'd have moved on with your life and it would have been, just like any other day. That's right, Sharrell. The little things. Always pay attention. Always be vigilant. Always be vigilant. Always stay on top of things. And pay attention to yourself. You know, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Trust your intuition. And trust your dreams. It's very important. And I like that the family we got here, all of y'all are kind of like me. Like we pay attention to that stuff and we respect it. And we respect it because we've seen the evidence of like what happens when you don't. And we've had experiences kind of like the one I had where the guy showed up and here he is live and in living color and something was wrong. You know what I mean? And I still can't say like I don't have no unsolved mysteries type thing like, oh, when we saw in the newspaper 10 days later he killed 100 people. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just a bad feeling and I took it as a warning. Hey, Humble Beauty. Straight up. So the reality is, y'all, pay attention. Don't discount things. I think, especially for us ladies, that's a part of being a woman. We have that intuition. Woman's intuition is not an old wives' tale. That is reality. So it's kind of like, don't dismiss it, accept it. I think we're getting into like our next age, our next dispensation where we are safe to be women again. We can rest in our feminine. We can embrace everything that it means to be feminine. Absolutely everything. So having your intuition, trusting it, listening to yourself, listening to those warnings. I think that's a good thing. And we do not need to ignore what comes natural to us. It's there for a reason. That's right, Nika. Never wrong. I don't care if everybody around you is like, oh no, you sound crazy. That don't make no sense. Usually, y'all know I'm telling you the truth. Usually, that same thing that you tried to warn them about, it usually ends up, if not just like that, it ends up something like that. So always trust yourself. Okay? Keisha, you say deja vu something special. You typically say deja vu something special is coming to you. Yeah, that something special might be good or it might be bad. So just pay attention and remember, what triggered that response. So like I said, I'm gonna try to get the journals out this month. I don't know what day this month, but we're gonna get them out. Christian had a wonderful idea that I can just add them to the wish list so y'all can just grab them. But I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I think I want to get us all the same thing. So we all kind of have something in common. And I don't mind paying for them. I'll just buy them. But I want us all to have kind of like the same thing, just like, for camaraderie. No other reason. And the fact that I don't mind giving y'all gifts too. Y'all give me gifts, let me give you gifts. Okay? So that's that on that. We're going to make sure that y'all have your journals because that is important. And we don't want to like skip it because like everybody keeps saying these dreams, you forget stuff. When you wake up, you forget a lot of times. If you can't say it out loud, you will forget it. So we covered that. We got our takeaway. Um, again, I hope it was helpful. I hope everything I gave today was helpful. I hope you can take something away from it, use it. Um, as a tool to kind of help you navigate things. And Marva, you say you like the idea of having the same stuff. Yeah, I do too. I mean, if we say we family, it's cool for family to have the same things, right? Keisha says it sparks her mind to her it sparks my warning to mind my surroundings. Yeah, just pay attention to everything that's going on when that happens. But so this was a fun talk. Like y'all ain't answering me, so I'm assuming it was helpful. Was it helpful? Was it not helpful? Was I wasting my time? Y'all let me know. Marva says it was helpful to her. So thank you, Marva, for talking to me. Because the rest of our sisters, they done left me up here. They ain't saying nothing. So I hope that it was helpful. Um, I hope it was something that was useful. Thank you, Shakila. Thank you, Yvette. Because I try to cover stuff that's important to me, but I want to make sure that the information I'm giving is something you can actually use. And it's not just me being a crazy old lady babbling. You know what I mean? I don't like to do that. But I do like to cover our streams where we do get into the dreams and the things, because that stuff is a part of our lives. We don't spend all of our time asleep, but we spend a decent amount of our time asleep. And unfortunately, DC, you gonna reach out? I'll call you when I jump in the truck because y'all know that's what I'm about to go do. I'll call you so you can tell me what your ideas are. But I'm just glad that we can have these talks and get this stuff out in a safe environment, in a safe place where you're not going to be judged for saying, what you saw, what you experienced, or what you're going through, right? So that's awesome. Also, remember, we're coming back tonight because this is Pink Friday. We are revisiting Pink. So we're going to have our little watch party and our discussion on the porch. We're going to get that all set up for you guys in a couple of hours. So we will start our watch party at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. And I will send out notifications ahead of time. We're not going to just trust YouTube to do it. We're going to do our thing to make sure that you're ready. And y'all know anytime that we go to Zoom, I always do a quick curtain call to make sure that we don't leave anybody out that wants to join us in our watch party so we can have us a good old time, right? So listen, y'all, I love you so much. And Alondra, you didn't bring anything down. Yeah, you all didn't. Listen, I hope you felt comfortable talking. Like you're not judged at all. I hope that giving you the information that this was an entity trying to elicit a fear response. I hope that you took that to heart and I hope it helps. because that's really what was going on. And I just don't want you to be afraid of things like that. Don't be afraid, just reject it. Okay? And Velda, thank you so much. So y'all get ready, get your snacks and stuff. We're gonna have our little watch party and our discussion. We're gonna have our girl time this evening. We're gonna sit down and have a good time. A very good time. We're gonna have fun and some laughs. Shakila, you like getting your text? Good. I'm happy to hear that. I am so happy to hear that. I try to do everything I can to make things as easy as possible. Unfortunately, nothing's perfect, but I will try my absolute best. Okay? Yes, it was a good first season. We just going back in and breaking some things down and reminding some folks of some things that happened before the new season starts. And also for the sisters who didn't watch it like me, because I didn't watch it at first. And then when I finally did, there was so many layers to what was happening. So I want to kind of dig into that tonight, and we will. So anybody that is a royal family member and you're able to come on in, okay? And let's have a good time tonight. Thank y'all so much. I love you guys. Stay encouraged. Remember, most of all, try to encourage somebody else. And let's get ready for the weekend because y'all know the weekend is when we laugh, kiki, and cut up and have a good time. I love y'all so much, but I gotta go. Talk to you later. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, make sure you hit that bad boy on the way out and subscribe if you haven't already. I enjoyed you all. Happy Friday. See you in a few hours.